You got to definitely bob your head back and forth with the music because it's amazing. I don't see anything yet.
I think it just paused.
I can see it there.
Yeah. It paused up here.
So are we going to be able to see it or not?
I can go fix it real quick.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show. As Jared is going to fix our monitor in the newly refurbished Crybaby Hill Studios. Juice, welcome back.
It's good to be back, man.
Jared will be back once he gets this worked out to say hello. And we have a new member to the crew. She's on a 1-week contract. Hopefully, when she's available, she'll be helping us out more. She's our director of television, and she is Emmy. Emmy, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello.
Yeah, there
She is. Wow, first image.
Wow. See, we're just seeing this because, of course, we've had 8 months to prepare for this, and we've been preparing all 8 months. And anyway, hi, Emmy. We can all see you in here. As we could see. How do we? Okay, we have an issue with the monitor. We have fancy new monitors in the studio. We got fancy new sounds. We got a fancy new TV director. Fortunately, we got some first show blues here, and you guys are seeing things that I am not seeing.
I just see Emmy right now. That's all I see.
That's probably the show. As we're working on this, again, we are the Pivot. We are here to bring you a DK NFL lineup for week 1.
There we are.
We are now working on the television screen.
Now we're cooking with gas.
If I'm looking up with my hand open, it's because I'm looking at a television monitor in amazement. Anyway, we'll get going here shortly as we get the kinks worked out. I now have respect for every YouTube channel person ever and every podcast person ever because this is not easy. Our logo is nowhere centered.
How was the off season?
The off season was good. But how about for you, Juice? I know you won some tennis tournaments.
I didn't.
Your sons did?
My sons did. I didn't. No.
Yeah.
I did okay. Kids are getting better. That's good. They're back. They're in school again finally. So both of them at the same time.
Maybe the viewing world will note that you have a fancy new computer. Is that due to your winning the Salesman of the Year contest again?
No. I just.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I changed positions within the company, so it required
a
better rig, if you will.
So we're all fancy here now. Everybody's got laptops. We've got we got some new. The studio's got new stuff. Thank you, Brian, who Big B's is somewhere around here, helping out, making sure things work, things are painted. Anyway, I didn't tell Emmy I was going to do this, but you guys know that Emmy and I have a joint friend, right? She passed away a couple years ago. Her name is Reagan. Emmy, I'd like to see your face again.
It's going to be delayed up there.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Emmy, how hilarious would Reagan think this is that you are helping me do a podcast about fantasy football? She would get a good laugh out of this. Anyway, the anniversary of her death was a couple days ago, and I just wanted Emmy to have a chance to pay respect to her friends because she was a dear friend of mine too, and she was a pretty unique, amazing individual, and she loved Emmy. And she would not be here today but for her, right? So,
That's true.
Anyway, it's honest. We'll move on, but I think she'd get a good laugh out of this. So,
That was sweet. That was very sweet.
she was a great person.
Changing topics, though, we have our first chat guest.
We have a chat guest?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who do you think it is?
I hope it's Matt.
Of course.
Hi, Matt.
Hey, Matt. Welcome
up,
back,
Matt?
buddy.
Yes, Matt. We're all doing this together.
Yeah.
We're here together. Anyway, Emmy, thank you for being here. We finished that up. And Jared, how was your off season? Jared just got back. As the listener know, Jared's the richest man in the room. He's Bitcoin rich. My understanding is he cashed in a few Bitcoins and went to St. Lucia, right?
I did. Yeah, it was great.
With your wife on a boat?
Yep, on a boat in a resort. It was fantastic.
And that's why nothing worked this morning when we came.
That is why
Okay.
it took us 8 months to get to this point.
Yeah, St. Lucia called his
Yep.
name. And you're done doing wedding production right now?
Yep, my last wedding in Tulsa at least was on the 4th.
So all you newlyweds of the future are out of luck.
Yep, I'm done.
Jared will
Don't
not
call me.
will not be producing your wedding.
Nope.
So, well, let's get started, right? Like I'm excited to be here. The studio looks great. Thank you, everyone.
It does look good.
The monitor looks great. It's actually working. Thank you, Jared.
Yep.
I'll quit giving you a hard time.
Yep.
We got some fancy sounds. You may have heard we had an intro theme song that Jared and Julio and I took hours. We've got other sounds that we'll introduce, but like when Emmy wants to say something, we'll hit this.
Okay.
It's glorious.
Good job, Emmy. You nailed it. You want to try? Can she hear me?
Take 2 for Emmy.
Okay, Emmy, when you talk when this happens. There- Okay. Emmy knows nothing about sports and will be adding nothing. And I think
Please make sure your chairs are in the upright position.
she is here for fun and excitement of the show to add a little bit of female perspective on things and to hit some buttons. Okay, let's break in. What do we want to do first here? We didn't do a show schedule. Usually we have a really tight schedule we go by here, so this show may go on for way too long. But what do you think, Juice? What's next up here?
I mean, we usually last year would go in, kind of go over the game totals, just and then just kind of what jumped at us each game.
So let's remind the viewers that we are in Rays League. Rays League is happening again. This year we have 3 teams. We'll have the show team featuring Jared at control, and we'll have Julio and I doing a team just so that if we have any creative angles we want to attack with, we can attack them without messing up the show team.
Yep.
It'll be fun. There's going to be a lot of people on it this year. I think more than last year. I think some part into because of the show and us promoting it. Some more people wanted in, and I'm glad because it'll be fun. Anyway, this week, so we'll be doing Sunday, Monday. So that means all Sunday games are available to us and the Monday night game. And we usually like to start off the show by talking about game totals. We don't have any previous experience, so Vegas is doing this with their game totals kind of off the hip. This is for bettors. This is the favorite week because at times you can be ahead of the game in Vegas and know the totals a little bit better or have a feeling on the totals a little better. Anyway, Vegas always wins. But let's talk about it. What are the high game totals we're seeing of week 1?
So we got 5 what I'll call 50-cent pieces. Games.
Wow. Okay. So a new nickname. Wow.
Okay. So that. Thank you.
Okay.
I spent a lot of hours coming up with that.
We have a Julio proclamation.
Yeah. So the first 50-cent piece of the week is maybe the most popular game of the week from fantasy perspective, Cardinals-Titans.
It's weird. I don't have a whole lot of action in that my lineup my first look lineup. I don't have any Cardinals.
You're spoiling it for us already?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that being the big total, I'm surprised that I'm a little disappointed in myself that I'm not near it. So
next we got the Seahawks and Colts at 50.
Okay, that game I do think is I do have a little action of that.
Okay.
There's one particular player that a lot of the industry love that I love in this game.
Browns and Chiefs, 54.5. That's the highest total of the week.
If I was betting, I would bet that was the highest scoring game of the week.
Real quick, I've been listening to a lot of stuff off season.
Oh, wow.
50 points. You haven't heard this yet, so you don't know if it's brilliant. But of the games that have a projected point total of 50 or more, what percentage do you think hits the over?
50.
35.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow. That is we're not a gambling show by heart, but there's a little bit of gambling.
I mean, I think that's important from a DFS perspective, right? Because
so let me make sure I'm hearing you clearly. Of the games that are going
50 or more points
by Vegas,
right?
Totals, 35% of them go over.
That's right.
Okay, so now
a lot lower than I would have anticipated.
I mean, I don't even know what button we hit for that. I mean, that's just some insight. We'll just go with this one. I don't know. It's only 5 seconds.
Okay.
I like it. That sounded good, right?
Yeah,
Fit?
that worked.
Okay.
Next one is Aaron Rodgers' final season, Packers Saints 50.
Okay, I'm going to under on that one.
Okay. We're not yet at that part of the show.
Sorry.
But, okay.
My betting.
We already know where that is.
I think this whole show is filled with my betting insights.
It's off the cuff, basically.
All my betting insights will be included in this show at all times. So.
And then the final 50-cent piece is the Ravens, Raiders.
50-cent piece.
50.5.
Ryan, wait.
Ravens and the Raiders.
Okay.
50.5.
You know, another game I hadn't spent a whole lot of time thinking about week 1.
Why would you? It's the Monday night game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? I mean, it's not on the main slate.
Most of us play the main slate. Race League is not the main slate, but we'll get over that. We adapt here at the Pivot. Did I say, by the way, we are the Pivot?
No, you did not.
We're brought to you by Vast Bank, which is an incredible bank. They have just now launched a platform that allows you to buy crypto, the first of its kind in the country.
The first crypto bank to
Led
exist.
and directed by our executive producer, Toby Biocchini.
Do you want to show him your new debit card?
I
probably wouldn't because the numbers would probably be broadcast
I
to
have
everybody.
a beautiful black metal Vast debit card
Nice.
now
It
that
is
I'm
beautiful.
very proud of.
It's
my
very
prized possession other than my dog, who will probably be here shortly. Yeah. So anyway, that's us. Back to that. Now back to 50-cent pieces. I like it. Okay. So do you have a favorite 50-cent piece out of the year seeing all action coming from?
Well, so I think the first thing we should talk about this week is the pricing is on DraftKings is probably as generous as it's ever going to be at any point this season.
There's a $3,000 player that I will bet anybody right now that they have double-digit fantasy points. Anybody who wants to bet, there's a $3,000 player, one $3,000 player. You know who it is.
Yep, I know it already.
Well, we'll save it for but there's also some 3,700s and some 3,600s and some
there's some good
4,400s.
value this week, I think.
Yeah, but that's not how it might.
Tons of value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tons of value.
Okay, so we got the high-scoring games, right? We usually, I'm going to clear my lineup that I had built just for this. It's logged in the memory, so I'll be able to get back to it. Any lock and loads that you see out of these games? And is it warm down here to anybody else other than
It was
me?
a little steamy.
Yeah,
Not
it's a
too
little
bad,
warm.
though.
Emmy, you warm?
I'm good.
Okay, Emmy's good.
You forgot to.
Oh, sorry. Emmy, you warm?
I'm good.
Okay,
great.
We gotta get in the routine. Man.
Yes, thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me of that. Okay. What do you think? Where are the lock and loads? Let's press this button. Who are we locking and loading this week?
I'll be honest. I don't know if there's a lock this week. I think there's a lot of great plays. I think it's really going to come down to what sort of build you want to make. Because you can do anything you want, I think.
I was going to say, this week, because of what you discussed earlier, there's a lot of value. There's a lot of value at different positions that you can attack week one. Almost, I think this is a week that the Millionaire Maker might be won outright. Like, meaning there can be one unique lineup. And there are just so many different ways that mass points could be produced this week.
I can get behind that.
So I haven't we can honestly say that Juice and I have not discussed lineups much. Jared and I had a Monday little discussion as we were getting things set up. I have been kind of looking at what I did in week 1 2 years ago that had a lot of success was pick my 3 favorite running backs and build from there. What do you think of that strategy, Julio?
I like it. The only caveat I'll give to that is I think that literally you can play any running back you want this week.
I agree, because there are value running backs, but I also think there's some in the what I'll call the monster category, the big number category. I think there's some guys that are hard not to play. Let's start off. Let's start naming names. Alvin Kamara. That's a tough guy for me not to line up this week.
100%.
He's coming off averaging 24 points a game last year. He's got a quarterback who's starting in the system for the first time. He's playing against a defense that was 26th, I believe, against the run last year. He's playing at home. He's playing coming off a hurricane, which, you know me, I believe in constructed narratives. I think the Saints win this game. And I think it's because of Kamara. What do you think on that, Jared?
Yeah, I feel like Kamara is their main asset right now. I mean, they don't have Michael Thomas. As far as we know, Traquan Smith is dealing with something, and then they got Callaway. So, I mean, feels like the entire offense is going to go through Kamara.
I agree. What about you? You not lock and load status for the Juice, right?
I would love Kamara if they were playing this game in New Orleans.
I thought they were. They moved the game.
It's in Jacksonville.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's because of the hurricane.
Noted. That's a little bit of piece of information that I will throw.
So it's not in the dome,
right?
Which that's where I think Kamara is best
That's
because it's
his
a faster
fast track.
surface.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean,
if you were going to pivot off of Kamara, what running back would you give the people?
I think maybe my favorite running back this week is Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. I've got Cook in the first build, so I think that might be the first player that we agree is kind of a must in this week's lineup. What do you think of that one, Jared?
I like Dalvin Cook. I mean, it's hard not to like Dalvin Cook. He's playing Cincinnati. He's a beast. He got drafted, I think, second in all the season-long leagues. So, I mean, everyone's high on him.
Respect the music.
Respect the music.
Demi, you got any thoughts on Dalvin Cook?
I think he's great, I think you should start him.
Wow, that's a deep Demi voice. Emmy. Did I say Demi? You're now Demi. I switch you from Emmy to Demi. Emmy, you got any thoughts on Dalvin Cook? Perfect. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, she might just quit mid-show the way you're treating her, Matt.
That's imperfect. She nailed it. I mean,
all right.
like she shared her thoughts on him.
Okay. What I would say
Cook
is
in the lineup.
Well, hold on.
I thought we were putting him in.
We got to talk. This is.
Some of us got massages at 2:00.
Well, I understand, but we got plenty of time. So we got McCaffrey, who's playing at home against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's back. He's the consensus number one player coming into fantasy this year.
Yep.
Right.
You have Dalvin, who's certainly in a good spot at Cincinnati. You got Derrick Henry at home against Arizona, one of the highest point totals of the week.
I
You
put
got Alvin Kamara, who I also agree is in a good spot, high point total with Green Bay.
Jonathan Taylor.
Taylor. I mean, you got.
There's monster running backs to be had this week.
A low-key guy that I think is going to go way under-owned but is in a good spot is Nick Chubb.
Ooh, yeah, I have
At
not.
Kansas City. It's going to be the highest projected scoring game of the week.
He's passionate
What's
already.
the projection for the Jacksonville-Houston game, out of curiosity?
Let's see. Jacksonville, 44.5. It's one of the lower totals of the
Okay.
week.
I think that's a sneaky over.
You think it's a sneaky over?
Houston, Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. I mean, again, you know me. I'm a false narrative constructed guy. They want Lawrence to have a big game, right? I mean, he can't come out and have 200 yards and 1 touchdown, right?
Right.
I think where I'm going with this is that I think I've built a couple lineups early this week, and the easy build, the easy construction is like McCaffrey, Cook, Henry, Kamara. You can pick any two of those guys.
Or 3.
I don't know about 3, but maybe.
I've got lineups with 3 of them.
I mean, I could see you doing it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be a really popular build. So my question is this. Do we treat this as a cash build this week more so?
So I should mention that because we have Ray's League, which we all have a team in, but we also have the other Jews. And sorry about that. Whoa. I think I just died for a second. The other Juice and I are playing heads up, as you know, so we
Yeah.
have to have a heads up team. So to be honest, we kind of have to focus a little bit on both, as we did last year, and kind of distinguish between them. I build week 1 like a cash lineup, even for tournaments. Like I'm just trying to go max points, like where I can. That's why I go the 3 running back. I agree with you on McCaffrey being very popular. He's also very expensive. I love the pivot from McCaffrey running attack to pivoting towards Carolina's passing attack. We've got Darnold playing the Jets, obviously a narrative. He's 5,000. He's got a cheap DJ. We've got cheap.
Is it a narrative though?
I think it's a narrative.
I mean, the whole management's gone. Like Gase is gone.
So
I mean,
if you're at Kasha, right, you're the star basketball player that you were, left-handed three-point shooting specialist, right?
we're kind of reaching on this, but okay. Yeah, go. I'm
You
following you.
You move over to Hall and Hall,
Yeah.
right? You come back, you're playing Kasha, but we're all gone. We've left because you failed for some reason. You're playing a fifth year. You still care.
Yeah.
Darnold cares, right? Jared, tell him Darnold cares.
Yeah, Darnold cares.
Hey, Emmy, does Darnold care?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. See, Darnold cares.
I mean,
Thank you.
I don't remember hearing her intro music.
Oh, sorry. I hit 2 of them at once. What is that? Okay,
That blows up the system.
Emmy, does Darnold care?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, much
Okay.
better. Thank you, Emmy.
So I like Darnold. His receivers are also cheap. From all 3 of his 1, 2, 3, and his tight end are very cheap. It's a very easy stack. It's the stack I'm going to be playing. I'm just saying it.
Do we
I like
think? Okay, I think all of this is reasonable and well thought out. But don't we think that a lot of people are going to go that kind of build? Like
I don't think there'll be a lot of Darnold builds.
I don't know. Well,
Do we have percent ownership? by the way?
I do have percentage ownership. So you guys want to hear that?
Well, what is Darnold's percentage on?
It's fairly. I mean, we always say on the show, play whatever quarterback you want to play, right? So the highest owned projected quarterback this week is, anyone want to guess?
Let's see here.
I'm a little surprised by it, honestly.
Hold on. Let me think.
Maybe Matt Ryan.
Oh, hold on.
No,
He's pretty far
Hold
down
on.
the list.
he's
on
pretty
there.
far down.
That's
Hold on.
surprising.
Tannehill.
No,
Ooh,
Was it
Kurtz.
Mahomes?
Prescott?
Herbert.
No, wait, that's Thursday night.
Nope.
Justin Fields.
Tell us. Matt Ryan.
Joe Burrow.
Ugh,
Joe
that's
Burrow.
so
What?
terrible. Hold on, I got one for that.
No! God! No! God, please, no! No! No!
We're not done yet. Hold on. Well, hold on, one more sec. I don't think I made myself clear enough.
Okay.
God, please, no! No!
I'm not saying that's who I would play. I'm saying this is what the projected ownership is.
Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
Oh boy,
Okay.
we might be here till 2.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it.
We're not. So we've discussed who we're not playing at quarterback.
Okay, let me give you the top 5. See what you
Of
think.
people we're not playing.
Well,
Joe Burrow,
maybe.
number 1.
Joe Burrow's number 1.
Ben Roethlisberger, number 2.
Josh Allen is second highest. They're both at 13%. Patrick Mahomes is 12. Jameis Winston is 8.9. I don't mind crab legs this week.
No. I mean, he's
I don't mind crab legs this week either.
no. He likes to send the rocket down the field. So I mean,
Another popular player this week at quarterback, who I don't agree with, but a lot of people in the industry are on, is Mac Jones. He's
Don't agree.
4.4K.
Did we not see Miami's defense last year? That's the
Well,
one thing they do well, right? Like,
They're really good against the pass.
Yeah.
They are. They're suspect against the run. But
I think Mac Jones is going to surprise a lot of.
here's the
I think he's
thing,
gonna
though.
surprise a lot of people this year.
4.4K. What does he need to do to get you everybody you possibly want to play?
not play Miami on the road.
Well, he's at home.
It's on the road. Isn't
No,
it? Whoa,
he's
we're
at
into-
home.
Here we go. Emmy, is he on the road? Oh. Hey, Emmy, you got any insight on whether Miami plays at home or on the road?
What's your guess?
My guess is at home.
Yeah, Emmy is very wise.
Emmy is wrong. It's or
She's
Emmy
right.
is, she was agreeing with you. She's right.
She's right. Okay.
Hold on. We'll get these buttons.
Brilliant.
Okay. Mac Jones is playing at home. I still don't like him. So are we good?
I like him.
Okay.
I mean,
He's 4,400. You said.
I mean, I don't hate him. Okay, I'll go with I don't hate
I
him.
will say this: he's probably not my number 1 play,
No.
or even my number 2 or number 3 play. But I don't think you're crazy if you play Mac Jones this week. I don't. I mean, 4.4K. He needs to get you like 15 points. He can get you 15 points. He
Okay.
can get you 200 yards and 2 touchdowns and
Because
20 yards rushing.
Because we're pressed. We're keeping this to an hour.
Okay.
We got Dalvin Cook in the lineup. We've talked, I think, a lot of different quarterback options. Who is the juice given the people? What's the quarterback wide receiver combo he's given the people this week?
Can I throw this back at you guys though?
Yeah,
I think
throw it
we
back.
I think we need to talk about this a little bit. And we're rushing through this. I think we don't need to, because we're not going to spend a lot of time on kickers because we don't play kickers. But so we like to play stacks and run it back, right?
Yes.
So what stacks do we like this week? I mean, I think that's the best question
I've
we want to
given you
ask.
the stack I like, so now I'm asking you the stack you like.
I mean, I like the New Orleans game, the Green Bay New Orleans game quite a bit.
I do too.
I mean, I like the Arizona Tennessee game.
My favorite game is Philadelphia Atlanta.
I do like. I agree with.
That's another
I agree
one.
with Joe.
I guess where I'm going with this is, do we want to pay up at receiver? Do we want to pay up at running back? I mean, do we want to do one of each? You know, like, because I can see a build. I can see a build with Arizona Tennessee where you play Kyler, who I think is going to be very low owned considering.
I do think Kyler's going to be very low owned. I think Hopkins is going to be way low owned based on his.
So that's a really good stack. You run
Yeah.
it back with, say, Derrick Henry, which I'll never fault you for playing Derrick Henry, and then you play the cheap pieces.
Everybody starts pushing buttons at the same time. You're speaking brilliance when everybody starts dialing it up. I'll always play Kyler. You know that the show is as a Kyler fan. We are huge Kyler guys. Kyler won us some. I mean, he did great for us. I had not thought. I mean, Hopkins is playing. This is the cheapest we're ever going to get Hopkins, probably, right? If he has a great game, he's going way up. So
He's 7,800. Yeah,
yeah,
probably.
I like it. Run it back with Henry.
I mean, you could also run it back with like AJ Brown if you think it's just
I
going to
kind of
shoot
actually
out.
like
I mean,
that, to be honest.
You know, I mean, there's a couple different ways you can go, and you're locking in.
But whoa! AJ Brown is listed as questionable.
I think a lot of people are listed as
Yeah, they
questionable.
still have the preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
holdover. Okay, I like AJ Brown better than Henry. I think a lot of people are going to play Henry. I think that if the Arizona defense is good at anything, they're going to be good at stopping the run. They're obviously going to focus on Henry. I like AJ Brown as a pivot. I like this. This is not a lineup I've built at all, and I like it so far. Now we're going to need some cheap players thrown in here.
Oh, we got plenty of cheap players.
Okay, at tight end, let's move to the cheap defense. Do we have a cheap defense of the week?
I think my cheap defense of the week would probably be the Falcons.
I would also agree with that. I just think at 2,000 with with their matchup against Hurts and his ability to throw some interceptions, I like the Falcons. Do you have?
Yep, and this 2,000, we can save a lot of money there.
As you guys might note, loyal listeners, one thing we can't see on the screen that I'd like to be able to see is the chat. Do we got any chat going? It's just Matt.
It's just Matt right now, but
Matt will note that Julio had quite a streak with defenses last year, getting double-digit points very cheaply.
I think it was like 31 weeks in a row.
Pretty much 31 weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we're going on 31.
I will say this. I'm really down on Roethlisberger this year.
I'm not a big Roethlisberger guy.
I think he sucks. I think he's washed. I think he's old. I think he's just going to be really bad this year. So, with that being said, I kind of like Buffalo with maybe a pick 6 this week against Pittsburgh at home.
Not a bad one.
And they're fairly inexpensive, $2,500. I think Buffalo's is one of those teams that has something to prove this year.
Mm-hmm.
I also like this. You can put Moss in, correlate that with Moss at 4,600, and I think Moss is good for a touchdown this week.
Maybe. I mean,
You're not into that idea?
I don't know if we have to
Correlate the defense and the running back?
Well, I mean, that's always a sharp play. It's certainly something we can look at. If we need someone that's cheap, I think we can go that
We
route.
do. We're at an average salary right now at 3,900.
With Murray, Hopkins, and who did we throw in there?
Dalvin Cook and A.J. Brown.
Oh, okay. Well, we've
But-
already gone that. Okay.
But I'm going to unveil my $3,000 play of the week.
Okay.
Terrence Marshall Jr.
Terrace Marshall.
Whatever his first name is. Marshall Jr. TMJ. Is that good? We good with TMJ?
Mm-hmm.
TMJ, which I actually suffer from. It's a very chronic disease in my jaw.
Yeah.
It causes me much pain. But Terrence Marshall Jr., 3,000. Brady, who the offensive coordinator at Carolina was his coach at LSU. He's had a terrific preseason. I think he gets a touchdown. I think 3,000 is ridiculously priced for him, and it saves us some money.
I think he's a great play. I think him, Callaway.
How much is Callaway?
3,400.
Let's get Callaway in there too. At the flex, we're gonna need that.
There's Rondale Moore.
a person that I think this will be the only week that we get to pay this amount for him that I really like is Devante Smith for Philadelphia.
I'm not as big on Devontae Smith, but
He's going to be the number one against one of the worst ranked defenses.
I agree with that. I kind of need to see it first. Waddle, I'm a little bit more.
Once you see it, it's going to cost you a lot more.
I agree. I like all the rookie receivers. I like Moore.
There's so many to like this week.
I like
There's Elijah Moore, who's 3,000, I believe.
Waddle, who's 3,600.
Yeah.
Waddle will score a touchdown this week.
Yep, probably.
I like Rieger playing against Atlanta D. He had a great preseason. He was making fantastic catches all through the preseason. He's healthy and fast again. He was a second-round pick, and I think it's time to shine. That's kind of why I don't like Devontae Smith as much. But, yeah, I think there's cheap receivers to be had. But I think you named my favorite. I think Callaway is a steal at 3,400.
He will be the most owned player this week in fantasy.
So do we want to pivot off that?
No, I mean, I think he's a free square, so
Right.
to speak, and I think you just plug him in. We'll narrow it down. We're getting different. I don't think people are going to be playing Kyler.
Yeah.
So
I'm not worried about it.
We're already different there. I think Callaway is more or less a free square this week.
Okay. Hold on. Emmy, is Callaway a free square this week?
Yes, I think so.
I mean, he's just nailing it today.
Emmy, you'll learn on this show that it's a lot easier if you just agree with the juice. Just agree with the juice, and we move on. So I like this lineup so far. I haven't played any of these players in any lineup I've built, by the way. Not one. Oh, maybe Cook. Cook's the only one who's been. Oh, and Terrence Marshall Jr.
Did we lock in Henry on this one?
We didn't because Matt's kind of glossed over him because he's
If we put
nervous about
if we
the show
put
going over.
if we put Henry in this lineup, we have $700 for the tight end.
What's the quarterback? We got Kyler Murray in there right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot. We got Murray, Cook, Henry, AJ Brown,
I feel
Hopkins.
like there's so much value in the wide receiver area.
I agree.
That we could get
Let's go off
Henry
AJ Brown then.
and Cook in
Bill-
the same lineup.
Then we can take AJ Brown out. If you want Henry, we can't have AJ Brown. So
Right.
I'll go. I'd love to have Henry. What do you think?
I would rather have one or the other, not both.
Yeah, I mean, let's go like Henry, and then we can go Waddle or somebody like that. Or who's your favorite cheap receiver? I've said mine. Who's your favorite cheap receiver? You've said yours is Devontae Smith.
Yeah, Devonte Smith. I think he's going to be a lot more expensive next week.
Who's your favorite cheap receiver?
I think I love Elijah Moore at the 3,000.
Emmy, who's your favorite cheap receiver?
Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Nice, good
Gosh,
choice. She's got
I
this
knew
down.
it.
She's 4 for 4,
She
man.
nailed this.
She is good. Where did you get this girl? She's great.
She Emmy is a for all you. She flies the Friendly Skies for United Airlines. She's also
Future sponsor of the show.
I think she's a featured bartender and waitress at the in the Raw View. Aren't you the featured bartender?
I'm going there tonight.
Yeah. So
I'll be there tonight.
God, this
Sweet.
I got to
Yes.
get on this Bitcoin.
in the Raw View is also in the Vast Bank building, which is brought to you by Vast Bank. So there we go. We got that correlation going. Okay, so I took out AJ Brown. I put in Henry. I think we've got to decide who we're going to go Elijah Moore.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who we run it back with. Your boy, Terrace Marshall Jr.
Man, now so we're taking Callaway out.
No, I've got Callaway.
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay,
think
so-
you guys, for some reason, I don't understand why, took Henry out.
Oh, I do have Terrence Marshall Jr.
I didn't.
Okay, good.
I did not.
Because I think they're both going to have monster games this week. One, you said the point total in the Arizona-Tennessee game is high.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think all the points are going to go? Mostly to Derrick Henry.
I agree. I mean, they also signed a guy by the name of Julio Jones.
Yeah.
We have yet to see how he's going to work
Right.
into the
Right.
offense, but I can't see it.
It's going to be interesting to see how he performs this year. He's, what, 32?
I just kind of think it's going to open up more room for Derrick Henry to run.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Really, yeah.
I mean, that's the way I look at it. But you know,
So right now, I like the lineup. Just to go over, since we don't have the graphics this week, we will have graphics next week. Jared, promise the people.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it here. Promise the people.
Yeah, we'll have graphics next week.
Great.
I also thought maybe it'd be cool to have just a camera on an iPad.
Or we could do that. My iPad.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. We'll have something next week. Whatever Jared comes up with.
Yeah.
So right now we have Kyler, Cook, Henry, Hopkins, Marshall Jr., Elijah Moore, Bills D, and we got a tight end and a flex spot to fill.
I love our lineup right now.
I haven't filled. I like it. We haven't rostered a whole bunch in this, but I do like it.
I think we have a lot of pretty good options at tight end.
Let's talk about our favorite tight ends.
Yep, I got
My
one.
favorite tight end went under the knife. Irv Smith Jr. had a great preseason, and he's under the knife now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Who's your cheap tight end or good tight end or tight end play of the week? You're going to say Croft.
I mean, we got a decent amount of money left at tight end.
We do. Well, we have 4,100 for the tight end and flex. So yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
timeout. Let's go back. So we have Kyler Murray,
Okay.
Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry,
Okay.
DeAndre Hopkins,
Okay.
Callaway,
Okay.
Elijah Moore.
Oh, I don't have Callaway in here. That's where I'm missing.
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry.
so we got 4,800.
Yes.
that's exactly what I have.
Yeah. So we got a lot for a tight end.
We
Ooh,
do.
I'm a big Goddard fan. I mean, that's a nice slide in.
Hey. I mean, this.
Logan Thomas, a nice play.
I feel like the obvious
Gesicki?
choice would be Kyle Pitts.
That's kind of where I was leaning.
Yep.
Let's do it. I like it. Kyle Pitts,
Yep.
rookie tight end out of Florida.
He didn't play in the preseason for a reason because they didn't need to see him. They're going to use him a ton.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if we even wanted to go a little further down on our defense, we could pay up for like a Hawkinson, Big Bob Tanyan, one of your favorites, Jared.
that's me. That's a Tanya fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's out there at 4,200 in a high scoring game.
He was rostered on several season-long teams. This
We
year.
kind of we run back Callaway with Tanyan.
I like it.
I
I
mean-
kind of like what we've got though too. So
You don't have to run a tight end back with anything. Obviously, you don't have to
No.
run anybody back with anything.
I kind of
but-
like your Bills. I like picking on Roethlisberger. I think that's a specific call.
Yeah, I like the
kinda
Bills.
kind of like your call. Now it leaves us $400 left over,
which is good. A lot of people tried to spend all their money, so if you're not spending all your money, you're slightly different than the.
You
the
you
field.
could, in theory, if you wanted to, pay up from Dalvin to McCaffrey.
we could do that. We could pay up from Elijah
That's
Moore to
I don't hate that,
who else is that? Ooh.
and by that I mean I like it.
I mean, I'm just saying we've got some flexibility there.
Like if we want to go Waddle, then we could go a different D instead of Elijah Moore, depending on you. I like Waddle week 1 more. Actually, I don't like Waddle week 1 more because at New England, I kind of think Elijah Moore might score in a high-scoring game. That don't you? The Jets. That's a tough one.
I mean, I think he's the #1 receiver right now.
Yeah.
Crowder's out.
What's the
What about
point total
Davis?
on the New York
Corey
Jets?
Davis. I'm sorry.
What's the point total on that game? Carolina against the Jets.
Wasn't that a 50 spot? Or?
I think it might have been a 50-cent piece. No.
50-cent
It's
piece.
it's actually lower. 44.5.
We need a
44.5.
50-cent piece sound for next week, by the way. We'll have to change one.
There's an empty one.
I know, or we'll switch. These two sound a lot alike. This one
Yep.
You know,
sounds a
something.
lot like Emmy's music. This is Emmy's music. So.
You know, if we wanted to be like even more different, though, we could. Let's see.
Sorry.
I'm throwing something in. See what.
Emmy, while he's looking at you, hold on. Let's try this again. Have you enjoyed the show so far, Emmy?
Yeah, I've learned a lot.
Oh wow! I mean, it's not too
So
bad.
far, all our picks have been great.
We nailed it.
I mean, let me ask you guys this: would you rather have
Zacharias at Philadelphia.
Would you rather have Damian Harris and Nick Chubb, or Dalvin Cook and the receiver we had?
Which Dalvin
I think
Cook,
it's a lot.
which was what, Hopkins?
Elijah Moore.
No, I think it was somebody else. Hold on.
So right now the receivers are Hopkins, Marshall, Moore, and Callaway.
Marshall. That's what I'm thinking. So would you rather have Cook and Marshall, or let's say Chubb and Damian Harris?
You know, a receiver we haven't mentioned that I'd like to mention and get on tape is Brandon Cooks. I think he has a big week 1 against Jacksonville. And all.
I mean, I kind of like Cook and Marshall. I think more
Okay.
than.
Yeah, me too.
I think Cook has a huge upside.
Yeah, since
Who do you think's going to score more points, McCaffrey or Cook?
Most weeks I'd say McCaffrey, but I think Cook is just in
He's in a better spot, yeah.
Awesome spot.
I really do think that I'm just going to keep saying this because I really truly believe that Carolina's going to pass the ball a lot this week. I really do. So that might be great for McCaffrey. He might catch a lot of passes, but I think that there's going to be a lot of Brady throws the ball a lot, the offensive coordinator.
I mean, I really do like Sam Darnold this week too.
I do.
I really think he's a sort of a sneaky play, but I love the upside that Murray brings us with the run and the pass.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping in this game is that Tennessee gets up ahead pretty quick, and they just keep running with Henry, and then Murray has to catch up with a bunch of passes.
Yeah. Someone else who I think is
to Hopkins.
underpriced is Ridley. Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good plays this week.
This week is tough. I mean, obviously we have everybody going. We're coming off where
You have
everybody.
everybody going. Nobody's really injured.
We haven't even talked about Tyreek Hill in the highest scoring game of the week. I mean, all the time. I just want to say this for anybody listeners. I love Adams. I love Hill. I love Ridley. I love Diggs. I love Metcalf. I love Jefferson a little bit less. I love A.J. Brown a little bit less because I think he's banged up. But all the top receivers, any lineup you build that includes Adams, Hill, Ridley, Diggs, Metcalf in this week's matchups, they're all good plays, I think. I mean, they're all undervalued because it's week 1. Ridley at 7,900 is a joke. Adams at 8,300 is a joke. I mean, so all these wide receivers, 7,600 Diggs is a joke. So all these wide receivers are way downplayed. So you can any one of them is a good play. Now we went with Hopkins because we're pairing him with Murray, and he's a good play. So really there aren't, and the upper echelon receivers, I don't see any bad plays. I can say the same thing with the upper echelon running backs too. I can't fault anybody who wants to play McCaffrey, Kamara, Cook, Henry. I mean, those guys are just playable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think this week you are almost, if you're kind of building cash, you just got to play Callaway.
So let's do this as we're wrapping things closer to. Who? Let's go over. So there's a lot of what we're calling dark horse value. Let's go kind of just give me a top 5 quickly. My favorite top 5 cheap guys I'd say are the receivers: Marshall Moore, Waddle, Rieger. Who was the other one? And your guy, Philadelphia.
Devontae Smith.
I think all 5 of those guys are guys that can score touchdowns on week 1.
The thing that makes me nervous about Marshall is you still got 2 other really good receivers at Carolina.
I agree.
DJ Moore.
They're smaller slider build receivers. They're quick darty types. Marshall is the 6'2", 220-pound guy.
I guess I just want to see it before I pay for it. But you're only paying $3,000, so
I drank the Marshall Kool-Aid early in the preseason.
Yeah.
Everything that I believed I saw to justify
if you're ever going to play Jalen Waddle, this is probably the week to do it. He's $3,600. Their number 1 receiver is out this week.
Will Fuller, which should be back next week, right?
Will Fuller's out, and then who else is out? They got someone else out this week.
Is it
Devontae Parker?
Is he officially out?
I'm pretty sure he's out. So you got Parker and I'm sorry, who else did you say?
Will Fuller.
Will Fuller, yeah. I mean, those are 1 and 2 receivers right there. So he kind of slots in as the number 1 right off the bat.
Followed by, I think Myles Gaskins is actually going to have a pretty good week because he's their workhorse, plus he gets targets.
The only thing I would say is I don't like Miami on the road at New England because I think New England's defense is really, really good. You look at some other guys that are really fairly priced. I love Jerry Jeudy this week. I think he's really fairly cheap. No one's going to play him. He's in that sort of no man's land, like $5,000 for a receiver. So Marvin Jones, $3,600.
That's pretty good. And I think he is the number 1 in Jacksonville right now.
So Jalen Rieger is $3,700. I mean, there's a lot of good.
There's so much value in wide receiver. I just feel like it's an obvious play this week to pay up a running back, get yourself a good quarterback pair, and then just fill it up with, value in the wide receiver area. I mean,
I think that the hard thing for me this year, or at least right now, is I've been playing baseball for the last 3 months, and I'm just so used to purposely avoiding the popular plays and going for plays that I think maybe are in just as good as spots but not as highly owned. So I guess I'm kind of thinking I need to be more off the chalk this week, but there's just so many good plays.
Yeah.
I don't think I would say that this is a week that I'm not as concerned about the chalk because I do think there's a ton of angles to attack it.
I think that's true too.
So quickly, what are they kind of representing as the chalk being this week? We talked a little bit in spots about what the highly played, but what is the chalk for each position kind of as we sit?
Yeah, I mean we got time, or do we have time?
We do have time, I think.
So let's see. At running back, I don't know if I agree with these, but Antonio Gibson's really popular, 27%. Kamara's 26%. Mixon's 18%. That's another guy we didn't really talk about.
Why is Gibson so popular? I mean, it's been happening all preseason.
I think people are just in love with him this year, and I don't know. Eckler's 4th, 18%. I don't want to play him against Washington on the road. McCaffrey's up there. Cook. Najee Harris is fairly popular. I don't love that play. I think they're going to be playing from behind, and I don't see him catching a ton of balls. James Robinson, I love where Derrick Henry is this week.
Yep.
He's 6% owned. There's no reason he can't go off this week. There's just not.
Nope.
If you remember last year, these were the weeks where Derrick Henry won.
Yep.
Was when he wasn't highly owned.
Yep.
And he's in a really, really good spot.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, I've had him in every lineup I've built so far.
Yeah.
Of course, I love Derrick Henry just in general, but I think he's in a really good spot.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Jones, I think, is in a good spot against the Saints, too. I don't know. There's a lot of good plays. Let's see at receiver what they're projecting. Oh, my God. No. Okay. I was like, what? Yeah, Marquez Callaway is the overwhelming chalk at 36%.
36% owned this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next
Green Bay.
most popular receiver is T. Higgins at 21.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have guessed that.
And then Michael Pittman is at 19%. Sneaky play. Another guy I really like this week too, like is if you're kind of going the cash build, is Devante Adams.
We haven't talked. I briefly mentioned Adams. Quickly, who are some of you're seeing as some of the kind of smart cash plays? Just quickly since it's week 1, cash. We try to play a little more safer, a little bit more on with the chalk. If you're playing heads up, and someone else is playing the guy you're playing, it doesn't obviously affect anything. So you're just distinguishing other players. Who, if you're playing heads up for a lot of money against a guy named Juice, who you got to have in there?
Callaway.
You think so?
Just lock and load. Don't just plug him in as one of your receivers and build the rest of your lineup.
Would you, in the running back position, is there anybody you think that you have to have as a cash play?
If it were cash, I would say McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I think I think when it's all said and done, he'll be the most popular running back this
I kind of like the Ridley Matt Ryan combo for cash. I think that's safe.
Yeah, I love Matt Ryan this week.
I think it's just a good safe cash combo. I think you get away with Allen and Diggs and a cash. I think Metcalf and Wilson is not. I mean, there's good cash builds, but I like the one I said best. You got one you like the best for cash? Ridley and Ryan.
I don't know. I do like Josh Allen a lot this week. Maybe like Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I mean, they could throw the ball 50 times this week. They barely run the ball. And Diggs is just a volume monster. He's kind of like a Devante Adams light,
Yeah.
But he just gets so many targets. So
Who was that one?
Diggs and Allen.
Okay.
I mean, you can never go wrong with Mahomes and Hill or
Yeah.
Kelsey.
Mahomes and Hill is a good build. I think that's what I might be facing in my cash game. Likely is Mahomes Hill.
I mean, maybe you could even play Baker just because if you think they're going to be playing from behind, he's going to have to throw the ball.
The one thing Browns have is a really good corner. Is he back? Their corner. He got hurt last year.
Yeah, Mac Jones, I think, in cash makes a little bit of sense.
He's just so cheap.
4,400, yeah.
4,400.
Who would you pair him up with? Myers,
Yeah, probably Myers.
one of the tight ends.
Yeah. I mean, maybe your boy Jonnu
Mm-hmm.
Smith.
Yeah.
I think Sam Darnold makes sense in cash.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play him in my contest, and in cash, I think I'll probably do Ryan and Ridley just to be able to build a little. more.
Another really cheap QB receiver combo would be like Fitzpatrick and the receiver there. I'm drawing a blank.
Fitzpatrick and
McLaurin.
Yeah, Terry
Yeah, Terry
McLaurin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Fitzpatrick's 5,500.
Yeah, it really is a week of just lots of choices. I know we keep saying that, but they're just guys have fun this week because there's a lot of options, a lot of stuff that you can do different, a lot of attacks. I expect in Ray's league to see a whole bunch of different stuff up top, meaning I think there'll be a lot of points scored in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, I think just nailing the right games is going to be kind of the way to go this week.
I think there's going to be a lot of points in the Philadelphia-Atlanta game because it's going to be two offenses that are decent against two defenses that are awful.
I also am curious to see this year. I think last year was the highest scoring season in the NFL history. I think that had a lot to do with the fans not really being there.
Mm-hmm.
This year the fans are back.
Yep.
Noise on the road. There's a true home field advantage that's there again.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see the scoring being down a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting. I'm fired up, man. I mean, I'm excited for week 1.
Yep, me too.
I'm really excited. This obviously this show gets me excited. Having fantasy backs get me excited. Yeah.
Do you want to go through the lineup one last time?
One last time from what I have, how I have our lineup is Murray, Cook, Henry, Hopkins, Marshall, Moore, Pitts, Callaway, Bills. So a lot of value at cheap receiver, paying up for some two big horse running backs, going with a pretty expensive Hopkins Murray combo that hopefully will pay off.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I love every spot in this, and then we're playing three high upside cheap wide receivers.
yeah, that's usually how we kind of build the show lineup, and we're always saying that we're looking for our first successful cheap receiver. Hopefully Marshall and Moore and Galloway will pay off.
Who did we play a lot last year that always burnt it?
OZ burned us a couple times.
What was his name? He played for Detroit.
Cooks burned us. We played Cooks for Brandon Cooks. He got a 0, and the next week he got 40 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, hold on one sec. We can't end the show.
But
Emmy.
Yes.
So, what did you think of the lineup?
I thought it sounded good.
Excellent. Is that the lineup you're probably going to play?
Probably I maybe would have put Patrick Mahomes in there.
Oh, okay.
see,
Yeah. We could
she was
You
listening.
can't go wrong.
Yeah.
pair him with
Patrick Mahomes.
Tyre. Are you a big Kansas City Chiefs fan?
Huge.
Yeah, nice. I like Emmy. I think
He went to
I
KU.
think Emmy's more of a cash game player, right? She's not more GPP. She's more cash.
Would you call yourself more of a cash game player, Emmy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
I
Well,
love
cool.
her answers. They're just loaded with conviction.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of fun. I hope Emmy had fun. I hope Julio had fun. I hope Jared had fun.
Yep.
Hope Matt, our listener, had fun.
One last thing.
Yes.
You want to know how I feel good about this lineup?
Why do you feel good about this line?
Because we're not playing Jimmy G.
No, Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's nice.
I just want to
love
mention
any
that
lineup with
the
no
week
Jimmy
that we
G.
won with Jimmy G, we won with Jimmy G. He had 2 points and we won.
That's right, because we nailed everything else.
Yeah.
I forgot
So
about
Jimmy G actually was our champion quarterback. Anyway, once again, we're brought to you by people at Vast Bank. We're live here from Tulsa, and hopefully people nationally will be listening and tuning in and enjoying as we build some lineups and hopefully get some success. Okay, we always do this. Monster play of the week.
You go first.
Just total points. I'll go first. I'm going to go with Ridley. I think Ridley scores over 30.
Calvin Ridley?
Yeah.
Okay.
that. You go.
It's Derrick Henry.
Okay. Oh, Julio? Juice?
Our quarterback is gonna go off this week.
Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you remember last year, the first 5 weeks, he was on pace for a historic NFL season.
He really
before
was.
he got injured.
He had some big weeks for us. I think we got second 1 week with
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, his first 7 weeks were
Emmy,
phenomenal.
you going with Patrick Mahomes as your beast of the week here? Monster play, whatever you want to call it?
Yes.
Okay. I like it.
Okay.
Put it in. So those are our monster plays. I guess we'll have like the theme music kind of carry us out here. This is brought to you by Jared. This is Jared Witter.
Thank you for joining us.
We stole this in part from Family Ties. Anyway,